have to hump to get a dry martini around here.
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
You guys, this is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman. Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a big, fat, stupid bitch. Don't say it, Cartman. Wait. Don't do it, Cartman. Wait. I'm warning you. Okay.
Hello, peasants. Want to kill all humans?
We're there, dude.
We'd like some money. Yeah, money. Money is cool.
Aren't you ashamed?
We got whores in the city. We need backup now.
Don't be so dang literal.
Well, you've got one heck of a nerve.
Oh my God! The government is here. Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
Hello, peasants. Want to kill all humans?
We're there, dude.
We'd like some money. Yeah, money. Money is cool.
Aren't you ashamed?
We got whores in the city. We need backup now.
Don't be so dang literal.
Well, you've got one heck of a nerve.
Oh my God! The government is here. Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
You guys, this is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman. Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a big, fat, stupid bitch. Don't say it, Cartman. Wait. Don't do it, Cartman. Wait. I'm warning you. Okay.
money is cool.
Aren't you ashamed?
10-6-9er, we got whores on the city. We need backup now.
Don't be so dang literal.
Well, you've got one heck of a nerve.
Oh my god! The government is here! Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
Cider can.
All right, and we are live on YouTube, everybody.
What's up?
Hi,
That's
If
everyone.
he's underwater, he gets wet. Spider-Man.
Right, welcome, Totally Toonular. This is the first episode in Leo's final tour, is what I'm calling it, this next month.
Aw.
So,
Boo.
Don't call it that.
but yeah, guys, what's up, man? You know, I know I had a strange week. You know, fucking went out to Rhode Island this past weekend.
How was
That's
that?
I mean, I'll talk about some of it. I'll talk about the fun stuff. You know, hanging out with Joshua. We got something called hot wieners, which are
Oh, right. Right. I've heard
get
about
some hot
this.
wieners. They're pretty awesome, all the way. You gotta get hot wieners all the way.
Nice.
Uh,
Do they taste like hot dogs?
kind of.
Did
Yeah,
you
they're
like
not
wieners?
Like, what's the difference between
Nice.
hot wieners and hot dogs?
Honestly, I can't really describe it because I thought it'd be like more of like a spicier, like sausage or something. It's really just
Right,
like a
that's what
hot
I-
dog, but it's
yeah.
just like made differently. I don't know. It's good. It's worth trying. That's all I'm saying.
Also, I saw a picture of you guys. I don't know why I pictured Joshua to be like littler, but he's not little.
He's bigger than us. Yeah, I mean, because Joshua, we got to watch one of his favorite movies, Psycho Sisters, which was fun.
Oh, hell yeah. What'd you think?
It was great. You know, super just old school. You know, just gross.
It's so good. Yeah, it's really good. That's
Joshua
awesome.
brought his VHS, brought his VCR over to the Super 8, and we plugged it into the TV.
So, it's
Fun.
so like that's got to be the thing with like old school motels nowadays, is you almost have to bring your own sort of additional like viewing
Yeah.
thing,
Easy.
right?
I mean, some of them still have cable. I've seen like motels that still have cable.
Dude, me and Jen, when we were in California for Nicole's wedding, no spoilers,
Hey.
that's where Nicole's wedding was. She doesn't like to tell people.
It was in California, yeah.
No, wait. I feel like I did tell
Oh,
people.
wait,
Where's
did
my
you,
Skype?
did you
Lost the
let
Skype.
people know your wedding was actually in
So
California?
you and
Okay.
Jen were at a hotel.
Yeah.
But yeah, right.
Nicole doesn't
So
want people to
Jen
know,
had
but her wedding was in the United States. Just saying.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I want people to know my wedding was on Earth.
So what ends up happening is there's one night where we're actually in a motel room, and we're looking for Vanderpump Rules, and we're looking for like good Wi-Fi. However, even though the hotel had Wi-Fi, the room that we were in was tucked back in a weird little corner, and they were like, y'all don't get the good Wi-Fi here. Like, the good Wi-Fi doesn't exist here. You have to go back out to your car and then use your T-Mobile fucking Wi-Fi in
Oh
order to
no.
get it. So we end up watching like half of Vanderpump Rules inside of our fucking room. then we go out to the car to watch the rest of it and watch what happens live. And by the time we got back into the room, we could no longer get good Wi-Fi in California.
Yeah, I gotta say it's pretty good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And
Bro.
this Rhode Island Super 8. Joshua actually is like, I've never actually been to this nice of like a Super 8. Like it was like a regular Super 8, but it wasn't like roadie or like hole in the wall or like burnt sheets, you know, like I've been to
Well,
before in the Super 8s.
My Super
At
8
the-
in California was full of spiders.
at the Econo Lodge,
Yeah, man.
where I put up some of the Where Deer crew. Nicole stayed there. Reeve stayed there. Jazz, a couple of other friends of the show. There was period blood and or knife wound blood on Reeves's what do you call that, mattress?
Yeah, mattress. Yeah,
And his sheets. Yeah.
So our Super 8 was all right, and then we got pretty drunk the first night. Ended up like I did my first like drunk purchase.
Oh,
While.
Nice.
Like I kind of like thought I dreamt it, like I remember buying it, but it was like, nah, that's not real. I didn't really buy this DVD collection, did I? And then I wake up and I was like, oh, an Amazon delivery is coming to my house. And it's like I bought this this kung fu like martial artist named Sammo Hung. He had like a Walker Texas Ranger show from the 90s, and he even has like a crossover with Walker Texas Ranger, and it was the complete series that I bought on Amazon.
Oh god, how much
No.
you spent on that?
yeah.
Fun.
How much?
Only $18.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
fuck.
Yeah,
That's
get
good.
5. I don't know.
Yeah. But complete series with the Walker Texas Ranger crossover. But I was mad. I can't believe I
Cool.
just bought that. But yeah, Rhode Island's fun. Yeah, we also went out to Salem. I never been to Salem before, and I thought Salem was
Me
gonna
too,
be a little
actually.
overrated. Not gonna lie. Like a lot of people talk
Mhm.
about it. Like I thought maybe it'd be too much touristy trap, and it kind of is. But man, I had a blast just for like an hour walking around Salem.
Like
Yep.
Salem, Mass,
Nice.
or Salem?
Salem, Massachusetts.
Did you
Got
burn
it.
some
Okay.
witches?
No, but there was definitely a lot of witches around. A lot of hot.
Did you
hot girls.
did you guys dig through some ditches?
No, we did film at a house that Rob Zombie filmed in. So that was.
Did
Oh,
you slam in the back of your Dragula? Did you do
No,
any
and
of
also
that?
we did see there was like just random Connor, being Connor likes to always bring people out to places. He's like, oh, I know this perfect spot. We have to go check out like right now, And then so he's like, here's this place we have to go to. It's the only place that's open around 2 a.m. It's like a fast food restaurant, whatever. But these teenagers are having a boxing tournament in the fucking parking lot, like full on boxing
club.
tournament. Yeah, like a fight.
Yeah, it sounds like
They
it.
were like yelling. It's like, yo,
Fight Club
they were all
Junior.
yelling at people like, come here, come join the fights. Cause like, people are throwing money down and like kids are putting on boxing gloves.
What,
Just
dude?
Wait, in Salem,
in the parking
Massachusetts?
lot.
Nicole,
Of
Can-
what establishment?
can we not shoot a movie and just go and watch children box?
Absolutely, I could promise you
Thank
that.
you.
That is my director's
Is awesome.
guarantee.
So yeah, go hang out in Salem before you go hang out in Rhode Island.
Also talk about hanging out. Dwayne
I'll
is
try
hanging
to
out
get
in the
there
chat
somehow.
here saying hi and excited for the episode today.
Oh, amazing.
Nice, thank you, Dwayne. That's
He
so
loves
nice.
his 90s Spider-Man. But yeah, hanging out with Joshua was amazing. Love that man
Awesome.
to death. But yeah, Rhode Island's something. Definitely something. But Yarn Yeti, how's your week going?
Man, it has been it's been an entire thing. So me and my dad today we went up into Westmoreland where we shot most of Curse of the Weredeer between there and Gallatin. Took a look at a couple of rentals where we had some work done. Hung out with Pops for a hot minute. Like it's been a good day. It's been a pretty good day. There's been some other static on other things, but that's not my problem. Do you know what I mean? Like Like, thankfully, I get to just be like the writer and smile and say, "Do you need rewrites?" and leave it at that. And that is my life.
And
You know,
actors are on strike now, so you're done. You can just go on strike.
I mean, in theory, yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm also not getting paid for for my writing. But at the end of the day, I could be like, "Do you need rewrites?" And then just be done with drama and nonsense. Um, I did speak with Derek, our dear friend. It looks like you and I are going to be spending some time together around the 4th of July, James.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to be
Nice.
watching the fireworks in Missouri during the Blade Braxton Cup.
Hell yeah, Blade Braxton. Are you coming down for the 4th or coming up? I don't know which direction that is.
Bro, no. I'm going to be at home during the 4th. I'll be there shortly thereafter. Yeah, shortly thereafter. But I will be in New York next week.
For literally a day.
For a day. And then it's I've got 2 Grateful Dead shows that I'm attending with an old friend of mine from Nike at City Field. That's gonna be fucking baller. And then I will kiss you on the cheeks as you head off on the Cuck Island tour.
At least from one of the days on the Cook Islands. Not the whole tour.
No,
Yeah,
well, come
it's fun.
back to New Jersey on the 23rd. Apparently, we're gonna go down and hang out with Jimmy, and you like suck his dick for a little bit.
Well, if I'm home, we'll see. I don't even remember when I get back, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're grown people. We'll
23rd. Isn't the Cook Island on the 24th in Charlotte?
No, it's the 23rd in Charlotte.
Okay, yeah. So then obviously I'm gonna be there.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Jimmy's dick separately. Me and Chili Beans. It'll be great.
Blow him a kiss for me.
Right on the end of his pecker. You got it. Done.
So Nicole, how's it hanging over in California?
It's good. I have to say I don't know like what the fuck's been going on. Either I'm like PMSing, depressed, or like life is like maybe does generally suck, but I've been feeling way off. I definitely envy you all for like not having the hormones that cause PMS.
I've been fucking miserable lately, so
So maybe y'all do. Yeah, what the fuck is in the air? Hot girl summer's in a week, so hopefully by then things turn around. But on the bright side, in better news, I recently found out that the film that I told you all about that I acted in many moons ago, The Bachelor to the Future, recently had a Hollywood premiere.
Ooh.
So don't know what that means from there, but maybe you'll be able to see it soon. So yeah, found that out just scrolling through YouTube.
Oh, damn,
so
you've been in the premiere. You could have been there at the premiere.
What? I could have been, yeah. That's kind of the thing, I guess. I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes you act in a thing, and then you're just like, yesterday's news. Not all the time, but sometimes. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's like a lot of actors in movies. I mean, usually they shoot movies like fucking years in advance before they even like, oh, I'm in that movie. I forgot I was even. And like Conan O'Brien talks about his cameo he did for the Weird Al movie, and he forgot he was in it because they shot it like a year fucking way before it ever came out.
Yeah. I feel like it's an interesting feeling for sure. I mean, on a larger scale, I'm sure it's even wilder. But yeah, that's something that's on the horizon. Other than that, just moving and grooving with Mo and Andy, doing the thing,
All right, that sounds great.
PMSing through it all, but it's good. It's a good time, I guess.
Well, Mo and Andy are awesome.
They're not half bad. They're okay. The two of them, Mo and Andy together, like that's top tier. Separately, it's like that's like what do you call it? Blue Label versus Black, right, Nicole?
Mo by himself is an absolute gem, a star, like perfect, A plus. Like nothing in the world beats Mo. Andy is great when he's with Mo. You're right.
Their couple name is Mandy. Just saying.
Mandy, they're Mandy. I am teasing, by the way. My husband is very cool.
He ain't half bad. He's good.
He ain't
Good
half
dude.
bad.
That's for sure, Nicole.
We actually celebrated our 1 month of being married yesterday.
That's alright.
It's been a month.
Wow.
It's been a month already. I know. I don't know where the fuck the time goes, but it goes all right. You know what I'm saying? It's there. It's there.
That's amazing.
Good old ball and chain.
Congratulations, a month in of being hitched. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, what a world.
You know what
a
made
life.
it successful, Nicole?
You being at the wedding?
100%. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Yes. You and Jen are like the dynamic duo that you were referencing before. You two are.
It's hashtag power couple is what does it, right? We have infused and imbibed your wedding with that.
There you go. Thanks to you and Jen. Thank you very much. And we felt Leo and Erin's energy, and we felt John and James's energy. So thank you, everyone.
I know we don't talk
power
anime here,
couple
but we're
energy.
doing a Dragon Ball like spirit bomb that you put the hands up and the energy comes and go all the way to you.
Yeah, there you go. All the couples all across the country. Thank you all so much.
That's what does it. Nicole, congrats. Mazel.
Leo, how's it hanging in Astoria?
It's good. I feel like I'm balancing you guys this week because usually you guys are more chill, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go back to work after this, and I freaking out. But like this week, after Monday, I got like 2 slow days. So yesterday we actually went to Jones Beach during the day. So we did that whole meme like, oh, I have a 9 to 5 and my unemployed friend on a Tuesday, and then I'm like in the ocean.
Nice.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm a little tan, but at least I didn't get burned. It was like a nice day.
Sunburn, nice.
And yeah, I don't know what else you have to. It's just like regular work. I was just before we start recording doing like some stuff too for tomorrow, but that's basically all the news. Also, seeing Nicole's post the other day, I realized that we never like I knew that, but I forgot. But like I'm leaving, and we're never all together in the same place in person.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do at least one show together. We have
not until like Leo, you say that, but it's like not until. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, I get what he's saying though. Unfortunately, because he's not gonna be a host.
It will be maybe when it happens. We'll be as a guest. So
like a reunion tour. We'll call it a reunion tour.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
I'm like Tom DeLonge right now. Chasing agent.
Yeah. There you go. Yes, the original band.
You sell tickets. You sell tickets by having the final tour, and then you wait a little bit, and then you sell more tickets with the reunion tour.
Bro, like at the end of the day, at the end of the day, like it will happen. And regardless of whoever is quote unquote in the Leo seat at that point in time, like that person gets a whole fucking foot in their asshole, and then it's you.
It's fine. I can stand up and they can keep sitting there.
No. They get a full fucking boot in the asshole, and then you take their chair, and then I point and laugh at them, and then we spit in their faces. All the rest of us, all four of us.
Wow, this poor host.
Yeah, whoever it might be, this is what they're signing up for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, person in the future, but Ben's gonna beat your ass.
I have a what do you call that? It's I have a straight line from point A to point B. I have a I know how it goes. I understand. Sorry.
But on a good side, I guess, out of this whole living is like I'm gonna have more time to try to grow a little more. Like even though I only got paid once doing this, but like getting bigger on my photography side. Cause like like I live in Queens. I've been bit by a spider a couple times.
Oh.
I like to take my pictures. I'm basically Peter Parker. Like
There you
I'm
go.
gonna start like
You're
going
diverse.
to the
You're-
multiverse and
You're
pointing at
this
people.
universe.
Like what?
You're this universe's Peter
Exactly.
Parker.
There
So
you
you're
go.
like an entire Spider-Man?
Yes.
That's
Or man spider.
amazing.
And
I'm a human spider. Isn't that like how he said in the first movie?
That's what is it?
Yeah, the
It's
spider.
entirely spectacular Spider-Man. It's a
I'm like a
spectac-
Spider-Man animated series.
so that's not
Yeah.
either amazing or spectacular.
I was like scrolling for the listeners out there. Thank you for listening. I was like scrolling through Disney Plus. Like I could not for the life of me figure out which Spider-Man show we're watching this week. So
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm always used to just on Leo would know. Like it's just everybody calls it Spider-Man the animated series. Because it was around the same time as Batman the animated series, and it was just equally kind of the same, not the same show.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
It's
like the
easy.
same
Yeah.
storytelling.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and it was like it would just here's Spider-Man the animated. So when I say Spider-Man I forget that it's not actually called
yeah.
that, and that it's just Marvel Spider-Man just on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
yeah.
I was like, I'm so lost.
Finally talking Spider-Man the animated series. So Leo's been asking about it for a while, but even though we're not even really talking about the whole show, we're actually talking about the last 2 episodes of the entire show.
We should let people know first that we're supposed to watch a different thing today.
Yeah. So we were gonna watch initially Into the Spider-Verse, but unfortunately, for some reason, it's been on Netflix for like forever. Like I've watched that Netflix a couple times over the past like couple of years, and for some reason now
Because
that
it's in the theaters.
you would-
so they want to
But you
make
would think
money
that-
out of it.
Right.
But you would think they would keep it on Netflix to promote the movie you have in theaters that's a sequel. You know what I mean? Like here, watch the movie that everybody has on Netflix, so everybody can
Oh.
watch it and then go to the theater.
I know,
Right.
but they
You know.
I think they want to not Netflix necessarily, but like the producer, whoever's in charge of the movie distribution, they're like, people want to rewatch this to catch up to watch the sequel. So now we're gonna put as paid, probably go to Amazon and pay for it.
Oh. See, like when John Wick 4 came out, they put all John Wicks on
I know,
TV.
but like Keanu
I was
is like a
"What the
good man.
Yeah.
Sony's evil.
And he was like, this is what we're gonna do.
Sony is evil. But I was like, damn, that's fucking so smart. More companies should do that. But yeah, so since Spider-Verse is not streaming anywhere like I thought, as much as I love that movie, and actually I do even own it on physical
Oh.
media.
Nice.
Ooh,
there you go.
wah, wah.
That's
I was
that's
right. Well, what is streaming? And Leo, since it's on your final tour, and you've always wanted to talk about Spider-Man the animated series, and we couldn't really get to the whole show, and I was like, let's go to the original Spider-Verse, the one that started it all.
yeah.
This is the beginning of all the Spider-Verses. There is no Into the Spider-Verse without
Right.
these 2 episode
Right.
cartoons. So hell yeah! I mean, Leo, what is do you remember watching this for the first
This
time?
was my introduction to Spider-Man, actually. Like, not this episode particular, but this cartoon was like what I remember being my first
Maybe-
Spider-Man content.
Yeah, me too. I remember watching it. That's like my first like Spider-Man stuff. But do you remember the Spider Wars at all?
I do remember, like I didn't remember why it happened, but like the memory of different Spider-Mans, and especially one with the Doctor Octopus, like the arms and shit. I remember there too. Like I kind of have like a memory of that episode existing. Like I vaguely remember a bunch of episodes, but sometimes I don't remember the plot.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like I remember watching this as a kid. I remember like the emotion of watching it as a kid, of being like, "What? There's all these Spider-Man on TV right now. Where did this come from? Like, how did this happen? And now like looking back at it, it's just
So,
incredible.
dude, I grew up with a bunch of much older Spider-Man cartoons. like I grew up with Spider-Man from the the 60s, 70s, 80s. Like
Spider-Man and his friends. We watched
I
it.
grew up with all of that, and not so much this. And by the time we got to this, I was like, I'm over Spider-Man. You know what I
This is the
mean?
best
Like,
one, Ben.
It's the
The
best.
best
is.
intro with
I
this fake 3D bullshit thing.
unless it has the Ramones singing the Spider-Man theme song, it's not the best theme.
No, but this one, fuck, who did is the Aerosmith guitar, the fuck, what's his name? It's like someone famous that did the guitar riff on the music.
Joe Perry. Okay, great. It's not the Ramones, Leo. It's not Joey Ramone telling us he does whatever a spider can.
So Ben, so you've never seen this 90s
Not
Spider-Man
that
at
I'm
all?
aware of. No. Yeah, no. Like my Spider-Man cartoon stopped probably around like 85, 90, somewhere in there.
Yeah, Leo, I mean, you can confirm you're the fat guy here. Does this show come after Batman? This does come back after Batman the animated series, right?
Good question.
Batman is
Is 94 again?
Yeah, so this is 92.
Yeah.
So this is definitely be after. Like, that's why I think this show holds up as well as it does, because it does what Batman the animated series does. Where I love that it focuses on the villains. You know, there's always there's dramatic stories kind of happening that exist in just the kids'
Yeah.
cartoon.
And that's that I think is a big thing with this, because I did something more than just the 2 episodes. I also watched the Secret Wars.
Wow.
So
Nice.
That was a good, because like those 2 episodes kind of start in the middle, kind of. So it's like good that you watch that.
basically I watched like the last 5 episodes of the cartoon. And even those Secret Wars were like way different from what I know the Secret Wars.
Yeah, and the fun fact about it, I read this a while ago. The writer, this was like at this point in time in Marvel, everything was being sold off. Marvel was going through
Wow.
bankruptcy, so like nobody had rights to a lot of different. And the guy who's making this show, he was like the only person who had the rights to every character in Marvel that he can use at once. So that's why this show ended up at the last season. They just threw everyone they could, because this guy ended up he was the only person who had all the rights.
It's like
He
I
was able
knew
to-
Wolverine,
to use-
Iron Man, Doctor Doom.
They
everyone.
had
But-
everybody.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, and even today's movies can't even use all those.
Wow,
actors
yeah.
Still.
Because of Sony. Fuck
So
you,
it's like,
Sony.
and I mean, formerly
Yeah, but, like,
Fox.
not
and
anymore, I
there's
believe.
nothing Universal too. And Universal owns some shit also. But yeah, it's like, so that's why I love this show. It's like, it's just kind of groundbreaking.
You know what I
that
watched
way.
today too? Like I know it's not on the list, but just because I remember was even like sure that I viewed not too long ago those last 4 episodes. There's like the Secret Wars. How many episodes is there?
I think it's
Oh no, I think
4?
it's like 3. So
3?
like the last 5 I watched not too long ago, just because I wanted, like for no reason. But then I was like, you know what? I always have this vaguely memory of this saga that's like 6 episodes, I believe. And I watched the Forgotten Warriors. That's like before the beginning of this last season. And it was like a really, because I remember it's like a World War II kind of thing. Like everybody's like old now. They kind of have, they try to recreate the Captain America thing, and they couldn't recreate fully. So everybody kind of have like some random powers, but they all lose the power after a while. Like it's not Captain America that never loses his power. So they put like in the ring to activate or not. And they have like Red Skull is like a whole thing, and I didn't remember at all because the whole Doomsday they have to create, it was actually Electro, and I don't remember Electro being like that big of a villain. And then on the Andrew Garfield movie, it was just such a dumb like villain to be. And he's like the son of Red Skull, and he literally is so overpowered that the only way to stop him is capturing him.
A Red Skull in the show. That's I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
even Captain America is on those episodes for like a minute too. That's when Spider-Man actually meets him.
Yeah, and, you know, a lot of these heroes. This was like an early MCU, man. All these heroes had shows too. Like Iron Man had an animated show. Fantastic Four, X-Men, obviously, and it's the same X-Men. Like the X-Men '90s show that we watched are the same characters, like the same voice actors.
They cross over like a little bit on those cartoons. That's like they do in DC too. Like when they start Batman all the way through Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, exactly. Nicole. So I know. You seen the Spider-Verse movie?
Yeah, I have, and I absolutely love that movie. Yeah, it's so good.
So how does it compare to the
Yeah,
original
Is it?
Spider? Were you lost?
I mean, you know me. I tend to be lost when I watch these sort of things, and then it makes me resentful, and then I and then I. But this time I really did. I actually watched this 3 times, like both episodes. Like I watched each episode 3 times. I did because I was like trying to just overcome that, kind of like mindset I was in. I tend to be in. I did really like it. I mean, Into the Spider-Verse is clearly something different. I mean, it's the artwork is.
Yeah, that movie.
No Post Malone here.
Yeah, that's really the main difference. If Post Malone was in this one, different story. But it was entirely entertaining. I noticed I liked the second episode better than the first. I'm not sure if you all had a preference of which one. Felt like more makes sense. The first episode was a lot of exposition, setting up the story, and like the second one felt like things really crazy things happened.
I mean, what I love about the first one is that it opens up like fucking so dramatic. Like you get the backstory of Mary Jane. He marries her and she's actually a clone, and then she like melts and he watches her melt in front of him.
Yeah.
And his whole life is like a lie. I was like, that's some deep shit for just like a Spider-Man.
And
cartoon.
I mean, James, you and I are Long Islanders. Leo, you live in Queens. Literally in that episode, like Queens is on fire, right? But like it is still, I don't know, when you hear like Forest Hills, Astoria, like you hear particular neighborhoods, it's like, I know that place, so it is like, I don't know, I definitely thought.
Because that's true. I mean, because you watch like, wait, is there a noise?
I do hear like
I thought it was rain.
Here, maybe I'll mute myself and let me know if you hear it.
Like I muted myself and I still hear.
Oh, is it me after returning?
Probably.
God damn it.
Wait, I think it's gone now. Whatever.
It was like a light static.
All right, let me ask probably Dwayne, since he's in the chat and he knows this way better than me. I want to know like if he knows that the show was supposed to finish on this last episode, or because it feel like it wrapped, but at the same time, like I want to find Mary Jane.
It's a cliffhanger.
Like, I don't know.
It's a cliffhanger. Well, we're jumping to the end. Here.
Yeah.
But, because like I love that it opens up with Mary Jane. Like they set that up and they bring it back, later. But it's like, such a fucking dramatic moment for such a kids cartoon to do. And then like what's best about Spider-Man is like you watch Batman, Superman, whatever. It's like Metropolis. It's like Gotham, whatever. And like here, it's like it's just New York City, Brooklyn. Here's the bridge. Whatever.
Yeah, it is always like there's something fun about Spider-Man in general for that reason. Like fun.
Yeah, he feels like you can. He feels like your neighbor.
Yeah, literally, yes. Like I feel like when I'm in Queens, I'm like I could see Spider-Man maybe.
That I think was like Stanley's like favorite like superhero, because he said like everybody loves so much, even though when he created, I think the publisher was saying, I forgot like who was telling him like, Spider, like this is disgusting, people are gonna hate this, you need to put like something cooler. But the thing is like he's so relatable, and every person, like first you have the mask, even like now we have different kinds of Spider-Mans too, but like the mask, you can imagine, anyone can imagine being Spider-Man since you covering your face.
Anyone can.
And being like someone that start like in school and get bullied and like trying to talk to other people, but it's too of a nerdy. So that makes so much like more relatable to people that like read comics and watch like those cartoons, especially before when being nerd wasn't cool.
I mean that's what made Spider-Verse, the movie so good, which is that anyone could be Spider-Man. Whoever that man, didn't matter. It could be anybody behind that mask. But also an interesting thought I never thought about is like, most people fucking do not like spiders. Yet Spider-Man is like the world's like most popular superhero.
That's a good point. I guess the
I think
cobwebs shooting out of his hand is just a fun take on the usual. Like I'd rather. I don't know. Like that's fun.
And Leo Dwayne says that they were supposed to make season 6 and find Mary Jane, but the network canceled. Or
Darn.
network.
But like, it was a good ending anyway. Even though I wanted to know what happened to Mary Jane.
Seemed like a pretty cliffhanger
Yeah.
of an ending. They just ended it on the Stanley part, but
which honestly is like the goofiest fucking cameo.
Yeah.
It's just
so
an
cute.
old man swinging from the back of Spider-Man, going like "Whoopee!"
We need to do a
Wahoo!
Toxic Crusaders with Toxie meets Floyd in a different dimension,
It's really
and
what
they
it
mop
felt
the
like.
floor together.
But like, that family, besides what makes why I love this cameo so much is because I love that it's like this is Stanley's early cameos. I mean, he did Mallrats,
Oh yeah.
and then it was this. And now it's every cameo
True.
ever. So this is like his first Marvel cameo that spreads over,
But
forever.
bro, like
now.
how fucking funny is it though? Like they could have ended it with
It's
him at the desk, but the simple fact that it is him on Spider-Man's back going like, "I never believed you was real. I thought it was a thing I wrote. Wahoo! Whoopee!" You got to admit, like, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just fucking funny. This old man
Yeah, that
riding on the back of like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Stanley's voice. So he was in that voice booth, just going
Whoopee!
whoopee.
Wahoo!
It was like
see yours.
incredibly fourth wall breaking.
It was great. I mean, I just remember seeing that younger, also being like, "What the fuck, Spider-Man's meeting Spider-Man." And when I remember watching this, it was around the same time when the Raimi movies had come out. So my whole brain, I was like, "Oh, that's Spider-Man that's there." With Stan Lee, it was always Tobey Maguire, and I still feel like it's Tobey Maguire when I watch it.
I mean, I can.
Who's your
I don't know.
favorite?
Oh, sorry.
I can
Dare I
see
ask?
that.
Could I ask that now? I know it's a little off topic. We can come back to that. I was gonna ask who's your favorite Spider-Man in the.
Ooh.
Leo, you go
That's
first.
hard. Like, I don't know if it's separating cartoon and real people, but like this is, I don't know. This was my only Spider-Man for like years until like Tobey movie. But I don't know. I never thought like Tobey captured like Peter Parker as like the things like Andrew's movie. They were not that good. Like he was a good like I think I heard this somewhere. Like Andrew was a good Peter Parker, but not Spider-Man, and I think Tobey was a good Spider-Man, but not Peter. And
Leo, you gotta pick one.
Yeah, how about we just go with
but
the
I
three,
like Tom Holland that he's like
live action.
he's
yeah.
good enough on both, so he ended up going like another step if you get like. But this one is like my first Spider-Man, so I can betray it.
Yeah, I mean, just like Batman the animated series, like that Batman is my Batman. This is totally Spider-Man every
Alright.
way through. Live
Yeah,
action
same.
Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Hey, Tom Holland Spider-Man. Like that kid is just Peter Parker and Spider-Man
Yeah.
all the
Okay.
way through.
Ben, how about you? Of the three, let's go with the three live action movies. Who's your Spider-Man? Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think it's Tom Holland because he incorporates everything that I always thought Peter Parker should be. He's young enough, he's naive enough, he's like young enough to be a newspaper phenom with his photography. He's young enough to sort of hit the point with the smarts while still being in high school. But he's still like old enough just to have like a little bit of savvy in like the way of the world. Whereas like you look at like Garfield or Maguire and you're like, these cats are just a touch too old. Like a touch too old.
Especially Tobey Maguire. I mean, I love the Sam Raimi movies. Love them. Love
Yes.
them especially Spider-Man, fucking one of the greatest hero movies ever. Tobey Maguire never looked like a high
No.
schooler.
No.
Ever. Like they all look like they were 40 or like mid 30s.
Yeah, like
all of them.
You
Kirsten
remember
Dunst,
who was
yeah.
Flash Thompson on high school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe Manganiello.
Oh,
They all were just
And
30s.
and you're like, you know what? If that's not Peter Parker. And if you look at even like the comics, like Peter Parker when he first sort of showed up, like there was a notion of the comic book characters sort of being puffed up and like kind of ballooned even when they weren't in their superhero sort of outfit. So like Peter Parker was this half-assed kind of muscle man, and there's this weird notion: is he in college? Is he in high school? But I always knew Peter Parker was like a high school junior, high school senior. He's a genius. He's bit by a thing. He's got a passion for photography. And Tom Holland hits those notes for me. He's not too buff. He's not too whatever. He feels like a kid who's trying to figure it out in a way that Garfield and what's his nuts Maguire didn't do it for me.
Yeah, exactly. Ben, do you ever watch like the live action Spider-Man show from like
The Japanese one?
No, not the Japanese one. The
Yeah,
American
James is right. There is an American one, American one, and
Yeah, I think that's like a season.
I remember it, but it's one of those things that was like such a flash in the pan when everything else was a flash.
Yeah, which is
Like,
there and gone.
And that's the hardest part about television from back then is, number one, I'm crusty and old right now. I was born in 1980. So if it aired in 85, I was only 5 years old. You know what I mean? If it aired in 90, I was only 10. So do I remember it? Yes. In as much as I remember a live action Spider-Man.
And yeah, it's very cheesy. I recommend anyone just go and check it out because it's just awesome network TV. And it was supposed to cross over with the Hulk show. It was going to exist in that kind of early MCU that never happened.
That's a show that I remember vividly. Is the Hulk live action show, and it's weird, like the things that hit in the back of your head. But I remember being at my Aunt Pat and my Uncle Doyle's house, and fucking watching the Incredible Hulk, and looking out of their window over their street on like a weirdly hot summer day down in Louisiana. And then like noticing that they had like a kiddie pool set up for all of us kids. All the nieces and nephews were over, their grandkids were over, everybody was over. And fucking I was up in a room by myself watching the Incredible Hulk.
That's awesome. That's
at
something
like
I would do.
6 or 7, and then looking out the window and being like, it's time. Now I go be part of the family.
I would have sat there and just watched another marathon. That would have been me. But yeah, that whole show was fun, man. But with this show, man, with Spider-Man, the one thing that like I actually really don't like about this show that it does a lot is all of Peter Parker's like inner monologues. And I get that it's like a kid show, but it's like this Spider-Man has to explain everything he's doing. No matter what he's doing. He's like, I'm climbing up this wall right now. And then I got to sneak inside and hopefully no one will see me. And then he'll have dialogue in his head and then have dialogue like to the person.
I've seen like a lot of, I think that wasn't on the episodes we watched, that like Mary Jane is asking him something that he just like ignore her the whole time, but he had like all the answers in his head. Like just tell her.
Yeah, just say it out loud.
Yeah, no, Leo, as a big fan of this show, what do you think about
Like,
Peter Parker?
I think sometimes a little too much, but one thing that I like that I miss more too is like how like Spider-Man is always like sassing too much like the villains, because like even Tom Holland, he's more like excited to be part of something. Like when we did like we had the whole Civil War, and he's like fighting like, oh my god, you have like a metal arm. Oh wow, that's so cool. Like it's not like he's being like making fun of the people that he's beating, like how the cartoon used to be. But at the same time, I feel like again, kids cartoon, and I just notice more now than when I watch, because I loved cartoon when I watched first. But
I mean, that's the Spider I love. I love when he makes
oh no,
fun
yeah,
of his villains while
that's
he's
like the
fighting. Because Batman, all just not going to see either. Batman either says shit, or he's just trying to be scary. Spider-Man is just like, haha, I'm swinging around you.
oh, yeah, like he always have like a little like smart commentary to make fun of them. But it's like a lot of random shit too. Like when they're fighting the top of a building on this other episode, and Mary Jane is like in Queens, like, you know what, Peter is in trouble, and then she go all the way across town to get on top of this building to do what? Just to get hit by like a bolt or something, almost die. And Peter's like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" I was like, "You haven't done anything. She she came all the way here for no reason." But yeah, like I don't know. Like I like how I feel like this cartoon make my my mind, my inconscient part love Chrysler Building, because it's the Kingpin's like headquarters.
I was like,
Yeah.
and you know, the plot of this, like besides the Carnage Spider-Man, isn't also very far off from Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
You know, with Kingpin trying to have this interdimensional like machine that's going to cause an incursion that's going to explode and destroy the universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no Madam Web though.
No Madam Web, which is I don't know, Leo, can you explain to me Madam Web?
I would let Dwayne if he can explain better. Like I don't know much about her. I know she's like an interdimensional being that's like extra powerful, and there's a movie coming out. That they're
again,
probably
giving her a
post.
movie.
I think they're post right now, and is in New York. And Ben, Madam Web is Dakota Johnson. So we're gonna have
her own fucking movie though.
yeah. Sony's making this. She's gonna be like 50 Shades of Madam Web. Uncle Ben is going to be Adam Scott, and I guess isn't Mary Parker Peter's mom? Because I think it's gonna be like pre-Peter Parker this whole movie.
Oh.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because it's fucking Sony. They're dumb. And they're like, we have Spider-Man things. Let's just make movies out of them. And they all fucking suck. All of them except Spider-Verse are terrible. Venom sucks. Morbius sucks. Whatever they're doing with Craven's going to suck. They're all
know, but I'm pretty sure, like, from what I'm seeing here in the casting, it's just like everyone that is not being used in Marvel, because Marvel probably, like, you can use those characters now, so...
They're giving Bad Bunny a superhero movie. Some random fucking Spider-Man character that nobody even knew existed. Just because.
That is weird.
So yeah, and Nicole, you're right. That is so weird. Like, it's one of those things where, like I don't. It's not that I don't like understand it, but like what I don't get is why do we go so far in depth on a character that 90% of your population doesn't get? Like James Gunn with Guardians, like that's a flash in the pan thing, and I know that Marvel is trying to recreate that, but
it's not Marvel, it's Sony.
Well, Sony.
Well,
okay, so
but I get the point you're making. It's that like they took a risk with Guardians of the Galaxy because it wasn't as popular, right? So that I get the analogy you're making. It's like they're trying to capture that type of energy. Sony is. I mean, like here's something different.
Like we own these characters, so let's do something with them, even though, which is not even a terrible idea.
No, clearly worked for Guardians of the Galaxy, like Ben said, but like it doesn't always land, and like you said, it seldom lands.
It doesn't land when it doesn't have a soul. Yeah.
Like, have you guys seen Morbius at all?
No, because I heard it was really bad. I mean, first of all,
I heard it's
like
Morbin time, and I'm like,
really bad.
So
I've watched it. It is by far, and I've seen. I watch a lot of superhero movies. That I don't say this lightly. That is definitely probably the worst, or at least top worst superhero movie.
Morbius.
I've ever had a
Shazam 2.
Like it's fucking cool.
Morbius. Shazam 2.
Oh,
Bro.
Morbius. At least Shazam
Okay.
is
I
funny.
liked Shazam too.
No,
I
because I just
watched-
watched the other day Shazam 2, and I want to know because like I heard so much shit that I think I was expecting so much worse. I'm like, okay, it's not the best, but it's not as bad as people were saying.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go with my review of Shazam 2, but I mean, I didn't really like it very much. But Morbius is by far one of the most boring, generic movies you'll ever watch, ever. Like here's the plot, right? There's Jared Leto. He's sick, so he tries to cure himself, so he becomes a Morbius. Then there's like a rich guy who's also dying of the same disease, so he's like, I want to be a Morbius. So then he kind of becomes a Morbius, but then Jared Leto's girlfriend kind of gets in the middle of it. Then she gets infected with the Morb, and then the bad guy becomes the full Morb, and then has like a dance off, and then they have a big Morb fight at the end. And then Jared Leto goes off into the distance.
Wow.
And that's
Like, how
Morb.
many superhero movies is Jared Leto gonna keep flopping? Like,
Hopefully no more.
Oh, because he was Joker and he was in.
like he said, it wasn't
what's
his
that
fault on that
fucking-
one. He said it was the editing, but I don't know. But
Yeah,
let me
story, but
just
yeah, but
before we continue,
it's-
I just
it's-
want to read the first line here on Madam Web just to see if it help a little bit. It said,
Okay.
Madam Web is a powerful cosmic being. She is the assistant to the Beyonder and teach Spider-Man's and other Spider-Man important lessons. That's like the first paragraph here on Marvel Animated Fandom Wiki or whatever. So just because we were talking about that before, I just want to explain.
Yeah. I mean, she sounds cool. I don't think she should get a full movie. And also doing Craven the Hunter, and he's not going to be a hunter. He's like pro animals, which also
Oh.
makes no sense.
Yeah,
Wasn't he on Where Dear?
Craven is pro animal.
Yeah, they're doing a Craven the Hunter movie with Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh
His
boy,
name?
he is
Is that
very.
how you say it?
Sorry, very hot.
Yeah, he's an attractive man, and he's going to be defending animals as Craven.
That's the
Hunter.
that's the only reason that man. I'm so sorry. This is so sexist, and that's the only reason that man is cast in anything. He is a horrible actor, but he is stunning.
Yeah, I like
But-
Kick-Ass.
but the
I think
thing is that-
But
Kick-Ass
Kick-Ass is a different story.
He's-
That was like
Let
a
him
very
be
long time
hot.
ago.
That's
But like
fine.
I guess because it's Sony and nobody cares about anything. Like who cares, right? Like Chris Evans is like two Marvel characters too, because he was Quicksilver.
That's true, but he's a good
Yeah, but he
actor.
died. And he
No,
died.
no, no. I mean like if he for this movie end up going to MCU. I don't know unless they want to like mess up with Wanda's mind, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, you look like my brother."
I guess I probably never will be, but I don't know. Yeah, Craven the Hunter, fucking all this shit blows. Fuck Sony. But this show is
Reeves is
amazing.
hashtagging Can Sony call here.
Thanks, Reeves. After I'm the.
Like, yeah.
I always say how much I love Reeves, and for you to cancel me, Reeves, just breaks my heart. There's my Catholic guilt for you, Reeves.
Now, what I really do like is the villain of this. I love Spider Carnage. Carnage is one of my favorite Spider-Man
That's a good-
villains. Like he's the coolest. Like he's like everything evil that Venom is. Plus he's a serial killer on
Yeah.
top of that.
You
that's
know,
big.
you know what Green Jello told us, right? In the
What?
90s, Carnage rules. Carnage rules. And it's literally
Yeah, I seen the comments here that was it Reeves somewhere said. Yeah, Reeves said Green Jello did the soundtrack
No, he
for
may
some
have.
game.
I said the Green Jello told us. Yeah, Green Jello did the soundtrack to that 90s Spider-Man Venom game. It's pretty fucking sick. And that's where we learned that Carnage rules. Like 100%. Reeves is right.
Does rule. That's why I love that he takes over in this universe, takes over Peter Parker, and it's just like, oh, he's got those like dope like claws and like sending out those like red lines everywhere.
So there's a weird thing with the notion of like Carnage and Venom and figuring out who's who. In the cartoons, you can always tell because of the voice.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that sort of likes the comics better, where it might be to a savvy reader, it might be a little more subtle. You know what I mean? Maybe it's like a tentacle that your average reader won't see. Maybe it's something a little more subtle in like some of the drawings as to who's who. But in a cartoon, in like a live action cartoon, they have to be so over the top that it's a fucking voice acting, it's everything. You can't.
Yeah, they put like his voice through like some sort of like filter or something too, so it's like like
It comes across so fucking
oh
heavy.
yeah. Actually, I have a soundbite I want to play in a little bit from these two episodes because the voice acting is by far my favorite. Did you guys notice any famous voice actors? I know Leo might know.
I know Spider-Man
voice
is Prince Eric from Little Mermaid cartoon.
But the Hobgoblin, did anyone recognize the Hobgoblin's
No.
voice?
I did not.
Leo,
Shit.
you didn't recognize the Hobgoblin's voice?
Mm.
It's a certain famous, also Batman villain. It's Mark Hamill.
Nice.
Whoa.
Like, I was actually weirdly unrelated. I was just listening to Mark Hamill like interview. He's talking about his like voice acting roles or whatever, and he said that after he did Joker, that he kept getting like offers and offers and offers to just do villain roles on cartoons, and one of them was Hobgoblin, of course. And he said he had to he tried everything in his power to not make it sound like the Joker, even though I still think the Joker still peeks through a bit.
Yeah, I can see like that being like because also like Mark Hamill's Joker is the best Joker of all time.
Of all time, yeah. And then it's just an iconic voice that it's like, when he tries to do another villain, it's like hard to like differentiate.
No, it's true.
But yeah, I can play this real quick. This is one of my favorite voice lines. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He was like, "Forgive me."
That kid's is Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, right.
Well, that was Spider-Man's voice. That was Spider-Man getting rid of Carnage. Forgive me.
Very silly.
Goddamn, yeah, man. So shout out to that voice actor for just like really selling the emotion. Because like this dude, man, like he just like sells it so hard sometimes. Like so when he sees Mary J dying, he's just like crying. Like this voice actor just must be just fucking going so hard in that booth.
Oh yeah.
I bet he's got real tears going when he's crying.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh yeah, I was gonna like from that scene that I was just trying to remember brain fart here when what I was gonna say, but that scene that he's expelling Carnage out of his body, that like Uncle Ben show up.
Yeah.
And does like, the whole thing. I thought like on that universe, Uncle Ben would be a dick because Peter Parker was kind of like a dick, and they had money. It was like a different kind of vibe there,
Yeah.
but
It also, I mean, that breaks Spider-Verse rules, right? I mean, Uncle Ben is always supposed to die to be Spider-Man.
I think
Oh, yeah.
technically like I guess like on the universe it doesn't feel like that guy has anything bad, but like I don't know if it always need to be Uncle Ben, but like Spider-Man is always like about losing people. Like he's like that's even what they brought up on the last Tom Holland thing. It's just
Even
like
across the
Spider-Man's supposed to be alone and sad and like not having a good life basically. That's the part that sucks.
Yeah, Spider-Man's supposed to be the most miserable. Like he's like the most fun yet miserable superhero that exists.
Yeah.
That's why, like, Batman's so outwardly miserable. The Spider-Man just like hides his misery behind.
Yeah, but like Batman is miserable because he's like a spoiled piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because like he's like a billionaire. It's like, oh, I'm sad. Like something that happened 30 years ago. Like Spider-Man, like finds someone like, oh, you're nice. I like you, and the person die, and he can ever have like. Yeah, and he doesn't have money. He keep like trying to save people and take picture of him saving people at the same time, so he can make like change to pay like something to eat, and everybody hates him at the same time.
Spider-Man comes from nothing, aspires to be like middle of the road. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like Batman comes from old money, continues to be old money, and only wants to be old money. like that's the thing. Spider-Man has to find joy in the world around him, and Batman has everything at his fingertips and still cannot for the life of him find joy. Like there's a massive difference.
I think there's a lot to be said from there metaphorically, and I'm sure I'm not saying anything new. But because Spider-Man, I guess, seems to be able to make like real connections with people. Like, what is it? Like, better to have loved and lost to have not than to have not
loved at all.
Loved at all. Yeah, and like Batman, poor Batman, like has all these like materialistic items, has anything in the world that money could buy, and he's miserable.
And he's never loved, Nicole.
And he's never loved, and he seems to have. I mean, James, you could speak to this. It seems like Batman has trouble connecting to people.
He definitely does, and I think it actually comes down to an age thing too, right? I mean, Batman's a lot more grizzled, older. Like Batman was older. He wasn't a high schooler when he became Batman, so I still feel like where Peter, as like a youngster, still has this like, the hormones are still inside of him. He still like has a lot of energy, still has expectations of a good reality and future, and Batman's already lived through a bunch of bullshit. He's like, yeah, it all fucking sucks. Fuck off.
No, but like his parents died when he was 5. He had like a lot of time, to get like a psychologist, like help or like figure out something. Not being like for all this time building up like this whole Batman life, and like Peter didn't choose to be this. Like he chose to be Batman.
And I think I love most about Spider-Man.
Well, but how long was like Bruce working on becoming Batman versus like Spider-Man falling into Spider-Man? Like how long was it? Like, because the whole Peter Parker story almost feels like, oh fuck, this happened to me. Meanwhile,
it kinda
Batman feels like, I hate the world, I hate life, I don't care that I'm 5 years old and my parents have died. I'm now 20. I've been training with my, with my grandpa.
Butler?
Yeah, with my butler and my grandpa, Raja Ghul or whatever. What is it? His father?
No, he has like a kid with Ra's daughter.
Yeah, Ra's is just a dude. I don't know. He met him somewhere.
I've been banging this dude's daughter, and now I'm training underneath him. Fine. I'm 24. I have no fucking like line in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got no point of fact. I'm running a business that I don't know how to run. It just makes me money. I hate the world around me. Versus, okay, I got bit by a radioactive spider. This is what I do now.
Yeah, and Peter still has to live a normal life. Bruce Wayne can go fuck off and, do whatever. You know what I mean? He can make some excuse, and spend a bunch of money and hide or whatever. But Peter Parker...
Which I guess could add to the... Oh, I'm sorry, James.
I was just saying, Peter Parker has to like literally make up.
He doesn't have a choice.
He has a date. He has to just bail for no reason.
I guess that plays into it then, like, because if any of us were like that wealthy and could just shut ourselves in, it'd be really hard to relate to people.
Yeah,
that's like a challenging situation to be in. Where Spider-Man, I mean, it's a challenge in itself. Don't get me wrong, but like gets to interact with people still and like. Still keep his social skills.
Yeah, a lot of times Spider-Man or Peter Parker still goes to college too.
Yeah,
like, still going
because that's how Professor Connors and
and but that's a big thing why I actually love Spider-Man a lot. I mean, as much as I'll talk about Batman for literally forever, but what Spider-Man makes Spider-Man so good is that he didn't decide to do any of this. Like he was just wrong place, wrong time kind of moment, and he was just like kind of chosen to be the world's greatest superhero, and he just wanted to be a nerdy kid and take photos,
And also Spider-Man is I guess like I don't know like every superhero, but I feel like what we see on Justice Unlimited with the Green Arrow, he's way more like sure he's saved the multiverse sometimes, but he's way more like a small kind of street deal than like most of the superheroes too. That's always like fighting like to save the planet.
True, and that's another reason why I really like this show, because actually this last season, like the episodes that we watch are pretty big, like multi-universes and Secret Wars and whatever, but the other seasons are not that big. It's very much just in New York City, whatever's going on within like a couple block radius.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah. So like that's
Nice.
also why I love Spider-Man. 'Cause I love that it's very contained because of my biggest pet peeve with superheroes and superhero movies in general is when the third act just has to be the biggest they could possibly be, and they have to have a fucking giant beam in the sky that's coming in from like another universe or like from space or whatever fucking bullshit, and you lose all like the anything that felt somewhat real or anything that felt grounded in any way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
So
Yeah.
that's what makes Spider-Man great. And yeah, no, and this show just really nails in that fucking shit in the coffin where it's just like, yeah, where everything existing in New York, everything relates to Peter too. All these villains like relate to him in some weird way.
Yeah, like someone I went at school or like a friend, like there's always like something that
One person I pissed off on accident once.
Dude, I live my life worried about that one person. Do you know that? Like who that might be? Who my fucking super villain is gonna be? So here's a weird question
You're
for
a
the
super villain.
your super
Yeah.
villains in the movies.
Bro, this
You
week,
have no idea.
Leo, this week, yeah, it kind of is. It's like a reverse Harvey Weinstein. Like Harvey Weinstein is the big bad overall. You know what I mean? Like he's the worst and the grossest of them all. But then like indie film is this like creeper that feels like it's gonna hug you and tell you everything's okay, and then it's gonna like cup your bottom.
Beats the shit out of you.
Right?
It's like
Yeah,
that
I
meme that
mean,
you're on the ground and then it extend the hand to help you up, but then it just flip you to the other side and drop you.
And then puts a finger in your butthole. Yeah, entirely. That's
It's like I'm like, have I been PMSing or have I been depressed? And like, which one is influencing what? Like, is indie filmmaking influencing? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Whatever.
Well, this is why Spider-Man takes photographs and he's not an indie filmmaker.
Yeah. He was smart. Yeah. Used his talents well and didn't, pour all his time and energy into his passions and make it his identity.
Too, and when we're rewatching this, I can't remember the last time I watched it, but it was somewhat within the past year. And I'm watching it, and I had this like weird thought process. I was like, why did this happen? Like why did they like decide, hey, let's put a bunch of Spider-Man together? Because this kind of shit never really happened. Batman never had a bunch of just Batmans. You know what I mean? Or Supermans.
Right.
But I kept thinking, I was like, oh, it's because they can sell more toys. And like,
Yeah. It's like 1,000 different Spider-Mans.
yeah, and now it's like, oh, we could have a whole episode about these Spider-Mans, and then we'll just
And
sell
collect-
all the fucking toys that we can sell. Spider-Man.
And I know I'm this type of person, so I imagine you all might be too. Like, I'd want the whole collection. You know?
Some of them. I had the Iron Spider, and I was talking with Chili Beans too. He's like, oh, I had that toy, and I was like, oh, I had the same toy.
Cool. Nice.
Leo, did you have any of these toys?
No, I was too poor to have toys. No, I'm joking. It's like the thing is like
I was gonna say, not a toy, not a single toy.
no, like it's just like, but like honestly, usually those toys would come really overpriced there in Brazil. But yeah, I didn't have like most of the toys of cartoons, and sometimes when I had something like the what's the name Panther from He-Man.
Yeah.
That one is because someone donated and I got that Panther. It's not, I don't know. It's just most of the stuff I had was like more like Lego. Wasn't like the action.
Lego's rule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
didn't.
Lego is fucking expensive though. At the end of the day,
Oh no, I was all donated to like someone give like a little portion here and a little portion there, and then I have like a kind of like a basket that I throw like everything in, and then I build like whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm like,
Wasn't like any real set.
I'd be too messy when it came to Legos. That's why I got action figures instead. I can make less of a mess with toys.
I think the only one I had, it was 2 Power Rangers, but I can't remember which ones. I think I had probably like the blue and the pink or something like this, something random. Maybe the black one,
Oh yeah,
the flipping head one.
and I never owned it, but I've seen this toy online of like the Spider-Man robot that we see in the show, like the one
Oh,
that
really?
like, yeah, like that.
Silver one?
Not the
I've never
silver.
seen that one.
I've had that action figure, but there's like, you can get a full scale like Spider-Man robot from the show.
Cool.
So everything is marketed off this shit, like crazy. If it exists here, it has to be a toy.
I'm pretty sure I had like a lot of these toys though. While I may not have watched this, I know I had Spider-Man toys.
They made a lot of toys.
Yeah, I know I had Spider-Man toys from like 1990 to like 1993. Like
Yeah.
that. I'm 10 to 13. I know I had Spider-Man stuff.
So like the only toy I remember playing that was Spider-Man, it was from my best friend in Brazil. That he had like the Tobey Maguire, the first movie one. He had like the Spider-Man and the Green Goblin.
That shit's worth a lot of money. I tried to buy it recently,
Oh,
and they
really?
go up to like a couple $100, some like $150, sometimes 70. I mean, it's just, if you still had those toys, it'd be worth something.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's still, but like I remember playing it, and it was like really like realistic and all articulated. It was like really fun
I
to
do
play.
have one, Toby. I mean, I don't know if you can really see it up here. See it right there?
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's from the movie. That's like a plushie from when the movie came out.
Nice.
Cool.
So there you go. So yeah, I mean, I love Spider-Man toys, but yeah, the fact I remember I had this moment. I'm like, oh man, like, it also made me think about it. All my childhood stuff. I mean, all of it's made for toys, but it really like set in this motion of like, man, everything I know is a lie. It's just for toys.
It's true.
You know, that is, you brought that to my attention.
Like everything I thought was
Okay.
just awesome was just exist for toys.
It's like either it's for kids and they're gonna sell toys, or it's for adults and they're gonna sell soap.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's how soap opera started. It was like literally like a soap commercial, basically.
I
oh
no,
there you go.
that's so true, Leo.
I
That's
didn't know soap opera. Is that true? They were like basically soap commercials.
yes,
Yeah, that's why it's called soap opera.
yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
Like I heard this a couple of times, so I hope I'm not going crazy now.
No, sorry, I don't mean to. I
Oh,
just
no,
wasn't sure if you were
it's
messing.
just
That sounds fair enough. Like
I've never heard of it. I just didn't know that was a thing.
Like I was
it's
like
like
I was
a-
watching a
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was watching a reality show. So Sylvester Stallone and his family have a reality show on Paramount Plus now, right? Super fun. I really liked it. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, this is an ad for Tulsa King, because they're talking about it the whole time.
So-
And then eventually, like, his daughter's in it. And guess what I did after I watched that? I watched Tulsa King. Like, oh, like, it makes sense that like something's like is like, oh, let's put soap, like product placement, right? Like let's
Yeah.
put this soap
Yeah.
throughout this
So
episode.
so soap operas, the broadcast definition, it comes from dramatic serial programs, and they were called soap operas because most of the sponsors were either manufacturers of soap and or detergents.
Because they
Wow.
wanted to get
Awesome.
women, and at that time, the only thing women was allowed to do was be at home cleaning and cooking and watching TV.
100%, and that's from the 1930s on up. That's from
Yeah.
the 30s on up. Yeah.
Right. So they knew their, I mean, at the time, they knew their target audience.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and I-
women knew their role.
oh my gosh. And so I have to say, and like for this like show, so it's called The Family Stallone. It's smart because like they know how to market themselves. So Sylvester Stallone has 3 young daughters that seem like they're in their like 20s, whatever. So like, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't have ordinarily turned on Tulsa King. Maybe that would have not been my cup of tea. But hey, look at these daughters that, you know, are maybe in my age range and like the same things I do. I'm gonna, you know, so I don't know. Everything's marketing. Everything is marketing.
Can I tell you my favorite Stallone family fact?
Please.
His mother, Jackie Stallone, and you can look this up. This is point of fact. Jackie Stallone is a psychic that used to read people's buttholes.
What? What?
That is
Jack.
one.
Huh? Why?
That's the
Why?
excuse to just look
Any
at
idea
people's
why?
buttholes.
That is
Why you want to
one.
see any butthole though? Like,
No, she
Well,
like
that's different.
not a good view.
friends would spread cheeks, look at buttholes, and be able to tell you your future, your whatever. Jackie Stallone is a butthole psychic. I hand on whatever book you want me to put it on. If it's a Bible, the fucking whatever, your holy books, you give them to me. I'll put a hand on them and I'll tell you the same. This is point of fact. It is truth.
Oh, well, yeah.
How you market yourself as a butthole reader?
Dude, Stern Show, Montel Williams, Jackie Stallone in the mid '90s was everywhere reading people's buttholes.
Well, there you go.
Does she want to read my butthole?
Oh my God, Nicole, can we film it for the pod?
No,
Oh.
no, that's gotta be on OnlyFans.
I thought
or
you were
something.
gonna
That's-
say the whole story
That's
with
not free if
Stallone
that's happening.
and his dog before Rocky.
Look,
That
What?
he had to sell his dog. I don't remember the whole story, but something like he was
Oh, that's
really
sad.
poor, and like he got to the point he had to sell his dog, and when he finally make money, I guess with Rocky, he tried to buy his dog back, but the guy charged him like 1,000 times more, and he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. I just really want my dog back.
that's another thing I know. Here it is.
Same
It's
turtles too from the first movie.
The what?
He still has the same turtles from the first movie. Like they're still
Oh.
alive.
Oh, nice.
yeah. So I'm gonna send you guys a thing in
Well, I'll be.
a thing in the chat. It's literally called rumpology, and it is the study of butts.
Is there?
It's the study of
Maybe
butts.
it is a.
Jack.
You know, maybe there is the answer to the universe in there. What do we know? What do I know? I know nothing.
So Nicole, like, here's what I'll do. Here's what we can do. We'll set it up. It's me and you, right? We'll get sheets and blankets so we're not like, exposed or nothing. But like we'll have a rumpologist each look at our butts
Well, let me be clear.
while we record our faces, and they can look at our butts and tell us our futures.
Let's keep this quick because Leo's turning bright red. We'll wrap this up really quick. I don't want any rumpologist. I want Jackie Stallone.
Just Jackie Stallone. Done.
Yeah, like only her.
Okay.
So
What if she's dead? Can we get like Frank?
then let her read. Let's do Frank. You're the brother. Frank Stallone. Fine. Sylvester Stallone. Fine. You can have a last name of Stallone. Any Stallone could do that.
Okay,
Sure.
great. Then that's what we'll do. We'll look at each other's, or we'll have other people look at our buttholes.
Are you guys
together.
gonna hold hands while this is happening?
Yeah, because what it'll be
If it works, if it helps.
It'll be me and Nicole like this down in front, and the camera will be facing our faces, and there'll be like a divide behind our butts, and then we'll just be holding hands like this, and while they read our buttholes together.
Now that's the family Stallone. That is the family Stallone.
And that'll be like, that's like, that's innocent enough. That way we don't have to look at each other's, bits or anything weird. It's not weird. We're just getting our buttholes read together while we hold hands. It's perfect.
When you can gaze into the future, right?
And speaking of gazing into the future, right, so now we're interdimensional Spider-Man people.
Yes.
Beyonder.
Ben, do you have you got any favorites out of these like Spider Crew that were in this episode?
Oh my God. Like, dude, it's so weird. Like, that's the other thing too. I like the Spider-Man that is a man spider.
I knew that was gonna be yours.
That's that's the Spider-Man I like the most out of all of this. The one that is actually a spider that is a man.
But Ben, I don't know if you you say you didn't watch this before, right? This cartoon, but like that happened to the main Spider-Man before. He even kind of mentioned this. Like, oh shit, that happened to me before. And I think it was like Madam Web, if I'm not mistaken, that helped him go around this whole because like he's like randomly walking, then like arms grow out of him, and he start like transforming. It's like a whole thing.
But it's also like an entire comic arc too, isn't it?
Probably. I don't know too much about that.
Yeah, it's Man Spider. It's like the same thing with like Batman and Man Bat. Like anytime you get bit by a thing, this is gonna happen to you. Like that's what I feel. You know what I mean? But hands down, that is my favorite Spider-Man because like when you see like the whole face.
Yeah.
And he got the little mandibles and shit. Like I'm into that.
No, that did look. I'm on your side. Nicole, do you got a favorite of the Spider-Man crew?
Yeah, I love the billionaire one. I think he like because there was this one line, and I can't remember, verbatim, but something along the lines of he was like, "Yeah, like isn't everyone a multi-billionaire in their universes?" And the original, Spider-Man just like changes the subject, like so he was just like interesting. He's like, yeah, I have like a foundation named after me. Like I made this gear, like so that was he was just fun to like had fun.
He gets like paralyzed in the episode or something like that. I watched this shit twice and I missed it both times. Like how does it taken out? Like Leo, do you remember?
Darn, I watched it 3 times.
Oh no, he got shot, and then with this paralyzing ray, and then he fell, and then Beyonder brought him to that room.
Yeah. And then was it Spider Carnage?
Fuck, I can't remember now. If it was like Kingpin, like was.
No, whatever. Yeah.
Spider
dude is cool. He's on. So that's the action figure that I had. So he's definitely one of my favorites. Leo, what about what's your favorite?
I'm gonna go basic here. Like the main Peter Parker is my favorite one. Because like he also at one point was the one that Ben liked too, so he was kind of like 2-in-1, and he was the best of all.
Yeah, I guess for me, I really like the Scarlet Spider costume a lot. Like I like the sweatshirt look.
Yeah, that was like a good one.
But
it kind of looked like Toby's first costume.
Yeah, exactly. And or even Tom Holland's too in the movie. And I like the Doc Ock arms too, because I feel like that's kind of a hint, because I know in the comics Dr. Octopus ends up like switching bodies with Peter at a certain point, and Doc Ock becomes Spider-Man for a while. So I feel like that's a weird, like, probably a little foreshadowing right there. But my favorite though, like I said, is the actor Spider-Man, because in my heart that every time I watch this, that's Tobey Maguire hanging out with all these other Spider-Man
that are real ass Spider-Man, and he's just like, hey guys, I don't have any powers, but I'm here with you.
Yeah.
yeah, that is a fun character, totally.
James, I just checked here. Green Goblin shot him when he was like swinging a web to get him.
There you go, Green Goblin.
So, but that's like a funny fucking thing to me is the notion of like, hey guys, I'm here. I'm from an alternate universe. I'm the only one we've got, and I'm just an actor. Tee-hee. And then meanwhile, you've got in the reality that you're in, you have Stan Lee, who has created a character that happens to also be real, right? Or he's writing about a real character in a make-believe thing. Like it
was like the Spider-Man that we see as the actor just comes from Stan Lee's, the way they make the Spider-Man movie.
Right. And then he meets a real Spider-Man who can swing him around. You're right. Absolutely. Sorry, my bad. He had created a character, they made an actor, but then a real Spider-Man crosses that path.
And swings Stan Lee around. So good.
Yeah. Gotcha. Sorry, my bad. That's how stupid this shit is, James.
So Dwayne made a good point. When great power also come great responsibility.
Oh yeah, that's like
Yeah.
the greatest Spider-Man quote, the greatest, like one of my favorite superhero quotes ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is amazing.
I mean,
It's like the most catchy of all superheroes, I guess. Like Marvel and DC. Like what else is like comes first in your mind when you think like a superhero mantra kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the one.
It
Yeah.
has to be. It has to be, and like it because Batman's whole thing is just simply vengeance. Like if Batman had a mantra,
I'm vengeance.
yeah. What
The night.
Hulk's mantra would just be smash. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like Iron.
It was like
Iron
Flame
Man-
or something, the Human Torch.
Yeah, flame
Superman,
on.
Like, was it truth, justice, the American way?
That's Cap, right? Like that's
That's-
or Superman. Superman, yeah.
It's Morbin time. It was just
It's
remember
Morbin time.
What would
I love that quote though. I mean, to me, it just relates, just in general, right? I mean, like, let's say I don't know, you suddenly have a lot of money, right? In life, I mean, if you have great power in some way, you have this now a big, what is it? More money, more problems, right? I mean, you got like,
Yeah.
you go up, you got more responsibility. That's just how it is. Life doesn't get
Yeah.
easier
Well,
when
that's-
you're stronger or more successful.
100?
You know what? Maybe all of us negative Nellies should be looking at our independent film careers differently.
Oh.
With great power comes great
I
responsibility.
thought you were gonna say
you
our
know?
bank accounts, and I was like, I wish.
Oh.
So like when I was watching today, like the Six Forgotten Warriors is on that saga that it show how Uncle Ben learned this lesson about the great power.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys ever watched this.
This show on this episode?
Yeah, on this season, but like more in the beginning of the season because it's just like I'm not gonna tell the whole story because it's huge, but like Uncle Ben's best friend, it was one of the guys handpicked to try the serum to become a super soldier. That he wasn't like all Captain America kind of thing, but he was kind of like a hero. So when Captain America disappeared with Red Skull and everything, and I think there was like a whole thing that Uncle Ben and his best friend, they all go for the same girl, and Uncle Ben's friend was like, "Oh, I'm a superhero," and then they end up with the girl because she's like, "Oh yeah, he's a superhero." And one day he said he was walking with her in front of a bank, and the bank was being robbed, and then he went to do a superhero thing, and they start shooting at him, but end up hitting her, and she died. And then they both learned that like just because like the great power is just you can just be like doing whatever you want. You have like all this responsibility, and you have this whole you can just do whatever you want because other people are gonna get affected. So it's like kind of like basically how they say that they learned this lesson. Because like the best friends say like, oh yeah, and we learned that day that with great power comes great responsibility, and then Spider-Man's like, oh yeah, that's how Uncle Ben learned this.
got it.
Backstory behind it, but hey, powerful words to live by for real. I mean, I feel like I think about that all the time. And it's like also just one of the best Spider-Man moments ever. I mean, anytime you hear Uncle Ben say it, or like, even in the newer Spider-Man, No Way Home, when Aunt May says it to him before she dies, it's like you feel it. You know what I mean?
It always hits, bro. It always hits.
And I think what's really awesome about it too, when you think about it, I mean, really, those are Stan Lee's words at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
He's telling us
With great power comes great responsibility.
that's what Stan Lee is saying to us, That's
Yeah.
like really, I think is awesome. And that's why I think comic books and superheroes are important for things like this,
Yeah.
Dude, like
Ain't that right?
they're the morality tales of our times. Do you know what I mean? Like, like they really, really are. And it's one of those things where, and this is gonna sound weird, and let it, but it's almost like comics have become sort of the nouveau Bible for our time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's where heroes are born, it's where they die, it's where whatever. And not just the Bible, but like any level of
Like literature,
or mythology.
mythology. Yeah, that's mythology. Yeah, that for sure.
Yeah, it's any
Becomes
level of
depth
mythology.
to our culture. It's crazy.
But do you think like when they created like the famous mythologies that we know, like the Greeks or the Romans, was actually their comic books, and they're like really nerds that they try to make buildings out, because like in the
Yes.
future people go to like, oh, look at the ruins of this Disney World place, and where they adore all the heroes from that time, that the
Right.
mythology of Iron Man.
Oh,
I don't know.
I believe that 100%. 110%.
Bro, if
Just like a
that's
bunch of
the
nerds in
case,
sandals and toga.
I would fucking
point.
shit. I would love that. I would love that if that were the case. Could you imagine them going to like the Tower of Terror that is now the Guardians of the Galaxy ride in California Adventure or whatever? And
Maybe if we do some rumpology, we could look and see if that's the future.
Nicole, let's get our buttholes out for a still.
I think if you do
And,
this,
like-
they're gonna be like, your feature is really dark and a little shitty. Thank you.
Well, that's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Then let's roll out on that note.
On that note, everybody, yes.
Ben, what are you giving the show? What do you got? What are your final thoughts?
Dude, I think it's a success. I mean, it made me want to go back and watch more of like 90s Spider-Man,
Hell
honestly.
yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna love it.
Yeah, very much a success.
Hell yeah.
Success.
Nicole, what about you? Because I was a little I did a bait and switch on you, and I was like, man, Nicole's not gonna be happy with me.
Yeah,
Fuck
I was
this.
like, wow. I mean, I was really excited for. I mean, it's not your fault. I was really excited for Into the Spider-Verse, but yeah, it's just not streaming anywhere. It's whatever. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked it. I totally did. I don't know. Yeah, it was cute. It was fun, entertaining. Yeah, it was a good time.
You gotta give it. You gotta give it something.
I do give it a success. Yeah, absolutely a success. And also, I do want to add, because I don't know if I said that Tobey Maguire is my favorite of the Spider-Man. It is
Tobey
he.
Maguire is awesome. I don't mean to talk shit of Tobey Maguire because I do love him, but Tom Holland, he's just perfect. You know.
Tobey Maguire to me is like nostalgic, those movies.
Yeah.
And also I like that he's like kind of like he is definitely a weird casting choice. I kind of like that.
I mean, he's a big nerd too. That's what I like most about that movie, though. Like, he's definitely the nerdiest nerd. And Sam
Good
Raimi,
point.
like, one of my favorite points of those movies is that Sam Raimi loves to bully Tobey Maguire. Like, if you watch that all three of those movies, like, Sam Raimi constantly is hitting him in the face. He's constantly like getting thrown somewhere. Like, he's constantly knocked down as Peter. Like, Peter Parker's never having just like a good moment. Like, even if he's just walking down the street, something bad's just gonna happen to him.
That's hilarious.
Um,
I'll have to watch it with that in mind.
Yeah, what I'm telling you. And if you ever see, there's a scene, I can't remember which one it is. I think this is either the first or second one. There's a backpack that like smacks Tobey Maguire in the face when he's like on the ground, and that is actually Sam Raimi in that shot.
Oh wow!
Nice.
I'll have to watch it again.
You
and-
won't see his
both
face,
of them again.
but that backpack that hits him in the face is the director hitting Tobey Maguire.
Like, one thing I kind of like from the first movie is the scene that Mary Jane slips and he catch her in all the food. That's all
yeah, that's
practical.
unreal. Yeah,
And they did like 100 something shots to get the scene working, because that was all like real. So that was like a fun effect from there.
All right, but Leo, what are you picking here? I mean, you've been wanting to talk about this show for a while, even though we only did the last 2 episodes. What do you
Still worth it. It's like, of course, a success. It's like my favorite Spider-Man. It's like my introduction to Spider-Man. I watched this so many times, like 100 times when I was a kid, and it's always good to watch again.
Success.
Hell yeah.
Success.
I feel the same way. This is my first intro really to Spider-Man, and like watching this show, like this and Batman the Animated Series do a thing where it's like just the perfect like way this character is supposed to be in every way, where it's like goofy, it's got drama to it, but it's also still kind of a kid show. Like it's like they really know how to figure out a way how to balance it. That like I don't even think other shows have been able to figure out since. I mean, I've tried to watch other like Leo. Have you watched any of these other Spider-Man animated shows since this came out?
Maybe I tried the future one, but I can't remember much.
There's like Spider-Man, that's the future one. I think it's unlimited. But then there's like Ultimate Spider-Man that's voiced by Drake Bell. There's like the Spectacular Spider-Man. There's one voiced by Neil Patrick Harris that MTV made. Like,
Oh god.
Like a recent one too that Disney put out. All of them just I don't know. Like I they're not great. They're also not bad. But they're not this show. This show just figured it out in a way that like
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got everything that like everybody hate from the Spider Friends or whatever was the one we watched, and it's like we're gonna do it better.
Yeah. And Spider Friends was awesome. I don't care. That was
I
a
don't
good.
know. I hated
That was a
that
fun.
one. That was painful.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it.
So straight.
Y'all know Dwayne was very excited for us to talk about it, so we have to come back and talk
Awesome.
about 90s Spider-Man because
I mean,
this
I
perfect.
hope we even really touched it. I don't feel that we did.
did. I mean, didn't. I mean, like I said, like this season, what we saw was like the craziest episodes. Like I said, most of these episodes just exist in New York City, were very more personal villain stories, like kind of like what Batman did.
I guess we could always come back to this show, watch the full thing.
Hell yeah!
It's like a lot. You probably need to do multiple.
It is 5
episodes.
seasons, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Cliffhanger. Fuck you, Fox or whatever, for ending this
Yeah.
cliffhanger. And I hope we do
kids.
get another season at least once, but we'll see. We got X-Men back, so maybe we'll get Spider-Man back too.
Truly, right? Like
That would be
truly.
cool. Yeah, we need to find Mary Jane. Maybe he go to they make season 6 and he go to California. I guess in New York now it's legal too, so it's like Mary Jane everywhere.
Hey.
Sorry.
Lost Ben here.
I clicked the link.
What?
I clicked the link. I'm sorry.
What link? Rumpology?
It was Rumpology, yes.
All right.
You sent that link. What do you mean you clicked the link that you sent?
Yeah, you sent the link.
You sent that link.
I'm sorry.
I guess Ben found Mary Jane.
Oh my goodness. This is too silly. Too silly for
Yeah,
words.
so I don't leave
James, what is the next week? More Spider-Man?
Next week. No, but you know, Leo, when I first met you, besides talking about Star Wars and superheroes, we did talk a lot about Lonely Island. And there's a recent movie that came out that I watched, and I was surprised so much. I really enjoyed it, and I want to watch it again. So to kind of add more to this Leo final tour of movies for our second episode, I watched about Chippendale. The new
fuck yeah.
With the Post Malone song?
Yep.
Is your Post Malone song? I actually don't know.
It's at the end, I think.
But
I think he sings it. Okay.
For me, it's like a modern day Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like that's like
Fuck
a perfect double feature right there. And it's on Disney Plus. We haven't talked about it, but want to talk about it because I love it. But have you guys seen Chippendales movie?
Yes.
Not the new one.
new-
I mean, I've seen
With
not
like
the
Andy
new one.
Samberg and all the Lonely Island guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
I have. And yes.
I watched
am-
when it came out. I was like, fuck yeah, I love it.
So yeah. So that's next week, guys. We're watching Chippendale.
It's
Fuck yeah.
pretty fucking hysterical. It's pretty great, actually.
Yeah, I'm not since Nicole hasn't seen it, I won't spoil some shit, but it's amazing. All right, let's fucking let's get out of here, guys. Till next week. Goodbye, everybody in the chat.
Douches.
Peace.
Man, this chat. All right, goodbye.
You guys, this is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman. Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a